Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to an episode of my F1 Road to Glory series for 2019 for Season 2 here at the German Grand Prix. Last time out, it was safe to say it was a great day for Brexit, I mean Britain. And we're going to come through for third place for Williams at their home Grand Prix for the home crowd. Third place, get in there! But even after such a victorious result for us, a great individual effort to get it across the line, get the podium at the home GP, McLaren still outscored us as a team due to Robert Kubica not being there. And unfortunately for us, the bad news continues on, so at least at the very start here, it's going to be a pretty bad evening for us, because it's another failure of a development. Engine power failed, we've got that completed weight redistribution, but that doesn't count. We had to repurchase that, so that's a guaranteed upgrade, so this is again not good enough. It's a second race in a row. I said it, we got accustomed to 3 episodes in a row of having upgrades. That is progress. We're now effectively moving backwards in the way this team operates, and I have only one man to blame. But nevertheless, as per usual, we have to get the positivity going, kind of compose ourselves and carry on with the job at hand. You know, the perspective is we're still here with Toro Rosso on the R&D shot. You can see we've closed up a little bit to Renault actually, which is quite good. That one tiny minor upgrade on the chassis side does help us out there. It would have been even better if there was 2 upgrades. That's all I'm saying, but obviously 1 upgrade is better than none, I guess, especially in the case of Willie. I feel like that's also one of our mottos when you join the company. 1 upgrade is better than no upgrades, even if we need about 10 upgrades to get to the next team. And with a positive outlook like that, I am sure we can go out there, go toe-to-toe with the best in Formula 1 and really stick it to them at the German GP. Through into the end of Sector 1, we're down to P20 in the qualifying here. We're going to gain hopefully some time and positions down this back straight, but pretty much at the moment this is my only best bet of getting some positions here in this qualifying here. We're up to P17 as we go down the main straight, but then into the brake zone, into the hairpin. We dive through a little bit too deep there, momentarily P9, and then we flash all the way down to P20, so things are not going very smoothly. On the acceleration we get back up to P18, but it's not looking great. Through the stadium section, the right-hander, we gain a little bit of time. P16 able to just hold on with the car there, into the hairpin left-hander, and then we try and get the power down as early as we dare, left and right, and then a double right-hander, try and get the nose turned in. Little bit of understeer on the second part there, but then get quite a good bite in actually at the end there. Across the line, we fought so hard, and it's only for P16.
It's a bit disappointing, but we just need to push hard in the race and we can still come away with something.
That's a bit disappointing. Yeah, you know what's also disappointing, Jeff? Not having all the upgrades I wanted this weekend. To be fair, though, there's a bit of positivity here. That Robert Kubica now is only 2/10 off me there, but we are a whopping 1.1 off the pace. So overall, the car itself really not performing well. Obviously, Kubica's there, but it's not going to matter if both of us are finishing last place. So, yeah, cheers, Robert. Cheers for turning up in the one race it seems like it won't matter. So it's going to be dry at the German GP, so no weather to maybe help us out or, you know, try and do anything clever with the strategy. It's just going to have to be brute force and trying to hope we can make some positions up and praying the race car is better than the qualifying car. It didn't feel that great really in that one shot kind of low fuel spec, so hopefully with some heavier fuel, maybe other cars around us might slow down. I mean, we're going to have to all hope for that, because if not, this is going to be a very painful Grand Prix.
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
Oh, it's our engine supplier's home Grand Prix, huh? Wow, I wouldn't have guessed, really, for the fact that the engine upgrade failed this episode. It's actually laughable. It's actually laughable. It's our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Mercedes, of course, the German GP, and that is the part of the car that failed, and we couldn't get more power out of it. That is just, that's embarrassing. We are the team with the best engine on the grid, and yet we could not produce another engine upgrade at the home GP. I think this is what they call, depression. Right, strategy-wise then, of course, a one-stop, but it looks like the soft tyres might actually wear out a lot faster than the mediums for once here, so we might try and undercut. We'll see about that. Obviously, from where we are, the first thought is really just trying to gain places into lap number 1. Last season, we had about, I think, 7 or 10 DNFs in one corner here at the German GP, so let's get the prayer books out and start praying for that. I mean, Jeff, get the holy water. Let's all just, you know, line up on the grid. Forget about preparing the car with all the laptops and all that business. I think the best bet for a good race is for literally all of us to line up here on the grid in front of the car and just do a bit of praying. Prayer's done? Yep, good. Okay, let's get into this then as we go to 5 red lights to the German GP from P16 and 17 on the grid. This is just a horrendous thing to say, but here we are. We're underway and it's time to try and do the business and hope there's a another almighty crash into turn 1. Doesn't look like it, surprisingly, and Robert Kubica has actually just mugged me off round the outside. It doesn't get much worse than this, ladies and gents. It really doesn't. So we're down to P17 now, having to dive down the inside of Kubica to try and get the P16 back. Narrowly missed the back end of Magnussen, and that allows Kubica to hold the line still. We have to do a switchback move on him on the left-hand side there, and we have to try and force our way through as we build up this speed. Overtake mode on the ERS, but we're going to have to literally squeeze Kubica out to the right, and now we've finally got the position, and now can we actually get a move on there and move away from Robert? If I have to race him the entire race, that is very much going to be a bad evening for me. On the exit though, we managed to get Magnussen, but Kvyat does a great job there in the acceleration to hold this through. So here we go now, wheel to wheel through the next right-hander, usually flat and quali. Little lift off to give the rush in the room down the inside. He makes a great dive bomb there, and this is actually a sensational battle at the moment between us and the Toro Rosso. Obviously so close on the R&D chart here, and showing it at the moment at Hockenheim as we're still going at it. Kvyat on the outside, we get the inside line, we narrowly just missed the grass there, and a little bit of a wobble and shake, but we get it done into the stadium section, up into P14. Never though have I actually had to fight that hard against the Toro Rosso to get the position there, so that might just be a bad sign of things to come, or might be a good thing, you know, because that was quite obviously a great battle. And you can see here, look at that, Gasly goes from the right to left and fakes it on Hulkenberg. We go sailing around the outside of Ricciardo, trying to catch him napping a little bit, boxed in by the Haas car. And speaking of the Haas, Hulkenberg is able to box me out there. I have to go defensive and very aggressive with Ricciardo to try and maintain that position into P13. You know what? I'm getting the sense that this race, you know, it's there for the taking. Get it by the scruff of the neck, just try and strangle it, almost like I want to strangle Jeff sometimes and Carl. Sorry, let my emotions get the better of me. I talked about strangling, and I kind of thought about the thought of strangling engineers because they're so bad at what they do at the job. Yeah, I'm not in a good. Back to the action then at the end of lap number 2. Looks like I'll be taking a trip to my therapist at the end of this episode. Right, we're now chasing after Nico Hulkenberg then in the second Haas of this afternoon, and then we've got Pierre Gasly in the Toro Rosso. Like I mentioned before, we're very close to them on the R&D chart, so I feel like with Gasly there, that's at least where minimum our car should be, around there to P12. So I think we're just lacking some pace in quali. I feel a lot more comfortable with the car in race pace here, although you can see the car is not feeling very comfortable with itself there, having to go opposite lock to try and catch the front end and the rear end, stepping out there. But here we go now, end of sector 1, wind this through, this slingshot almost left-hander, and then we wind it up with DRS overtake mode, rich mix going, and we're going to hopefully sail past Hulkenberg here. He's got DRS open, but no match for our car in a straight line, and we're up into P12 of the German GP. And now we chase after Gasly. Up ahead of him is then Lando Norris, one of the McLarens at least in some sort of sight, but I feel like Carlos Sainz, I think looking at the minimap there, he's fairly high up there, so this is going to be another tricky afternoon to try and outscore McLaren. Really going to have to really hope this pace continues and we can just continue to catch cars lap after lap. So here we go now, lap number 4 in the same place. You're probably going to be seeing a lot of this hopefully with overtakes. Is just powering past, using the engine power to good use there as Gasly gets very aggressive with us, actually squeezes us to the right hand side, but we get the job done, get the elbows out on the exit there at the hairpin exit, and we're up into P11 now. And now the next car up is Lando Norris in the McLaren. This is personal. This means a lot more than any other overtake. Just overtaking these McLaren cars is going to be very satisfying. And here we go, opening up the engine speed once more, overtake mode, DRS. We're going to move to the left hand side this time as we both slam on the brakes, then around the outside we go, and we're going to get a beautiful little exit there. Look behind us, and the McLaren almost looks like a little Fiat 500 versus my sports car, basically, as we waltz away from him, and we're up into P10. P9 up ahead of us, Valtteri Bottas. We move on to lap number 6. He's looking pretty slow, but even Albon as well. Albon and Bottas here in the respective Mercedes and Red Bull cars really haven't been performing as well as their counterparts in the other car this season so far. So here we go then, DRS, we're closing up on the Red Bull. Look at the lack of speed in that Honda there. We're going to make a dive to the inside of the fin. We're going to narrowly just get that done as he squeezes us a little bit on the left-hand side, but equally you can see there, we just completely push him out there and get the position. You got to be aggressive with the top cars there. If they're not going to use the performance of their car, then they should be punished for it. I mean, I'm driving a donkey, they're driving a chariot. carrot horse. They're not making the most of it. It's their price to pay. So we're closing up now on Alexander Albon into the stadium section. We're going to bump it down to lean mixture just to make sure we don't overheat the engine, of course. Obviously, you know, the car build quality is not exceptional at Williams here. I'm pretty sure, actually, if anything, our team, just to try and generate some extra downforce, because they don't actually understand what downforce is versus weight, they've just put some extra padding in the engine, and that's overheating it quite quickly compared to other cars around us there. As we move through now, the last corner, up until lap number 7 this is, and we're up into P5 now, as we've got the first of the pit stoppers here for this one stop onto mediums. We open DRS though. We're going to think about the overtake before we think about the strategy here. We can get Albon on this next straight through the right as tight as we can, get the power down as early as we dare here. Overtake mode gone. Rich mix also now, as we've saved the engine heat a little bit. Open DRS, and look at this, we power past the works Mercedes car. That is something to write home about here. That's frankly embarrassing, Toto Wolff. That is actually very embarrassing. To the end then of lap number 7, we're going to try and follow in Carlos Sainz, whatever he does. If he comes in, we're going to come in, and he does come in there, and we're going to try and gain a little bit of cheeky time on the entry. They're just going as quickly as we can through that right-hander, and then as late as we dare, basically, on the brakes into the pit lane. And now, come on, boys, once again, you did a fantastic job last episode of finessing McLaren there with that double stack they had, and we gained some great position. Can we do it again into the pit box there? What's it going to be? It's another 1.8, but no! We get held up by 3-4 cars. What? We got overtaken by Albon again. So we overtake the Mercedes car. We're now being passed by Lando Norris as well as he comes across. That is an absolute disaster there, as now Albon goes to overtake Norris, and we find ourselves back again behind these two plonkers here on the road. That is a disaster pit. So what on earth happened there? We had a great time, 1.8, but then the pit crew just thought, oh, you know what? Let's just let 4 cars through, because why not? So we've got Lando Norris though. We got him there on the hairpin very swiftly on that outlap essentially, and so now we close up and we have to try and re-overtake again Albon in the Mercedes. I can't quite believe I'm saying that really, but we're going to go and attempt to overtake the Mercedes car twice in this Grand Prix. Here we go then. It's a massive dive there. We're down the inside. Albon doesn't leave us too much room to work with there, but we make our presence known. We're not going to have any of it, and then on the exit, the acceleration is there. We're going to once again power past the works Mercedes car in front of the Mercedes grandstand, no less. So that is doubly embarrassing for him and Toto Wolff and the entire team really, and they should all just go into liquidation and give all the assets to us, and we'll just be Mercedes 2.0. I don't think it actually works like that, but hey ho, dreamers can dream. So we move on down to lap number 12, catching up to Kimi Räikkönen. They're sailing through turn 1, a questionable line perhaps, but we take those here at Williams. So here we go down the inside then of the Iceman. Lock up on the front right, swerve out though, and we're up into P6 then. So you know the rear end kicked out, and that was on purpose. It wasn't the fact the car didn't have the downforce and I lost the back end. It was a tactical little slide just to make sure we kept Räikkönen at bay in that corner. But meanwhile, we've got some pretty bad news, and what I'm witnessing up ahead, I think that's Carlos Sainz. Yeah, Carlos Sainz is just overtaking that Ferrari car, and I'm pretty sure he's up into P4, that means, or P3. Yeah, P3, because Perez is 5, the Ferrari's 4, and so Sainz is in a podium position. He's just been re-overtaken, though, thankfully, by the Ferrari, but this is nuts. Sainz is going for a podium position. This is the team and the man I'm trying to fight. We're trying to fight McLaren in the championship, and they've got a car that's able to, you know, quite comfortably, seemingly in the last few episodes, just attack the top cars for the top 5 positions here. This is, you know, very, very bad news for us if this is going to continue like this. If they continue to, you know, be a top team, there's only so much I can do, and so much that Robert Kubica's not doing, that at some point something's going to give. We just can't keep up with McLaren in the championship. But we won't worry about that too much there. I'll let future me worry about that later on in this season, as we're now trying to just overtake Sergio Perez. And you know what? We might have a good chance of having a double toe on Carlos Sainz to maybe make the double overtake work. Here we go. Perez closes up on Sainz. I close up on Perez. Where's he going to go? We go left. Oh! Sergio Perez goes left very, very late. Jesus, my mind. You nearly took us out as we now go down the inside. It's a bit rude, but my God, Sergio Perez almost wiped us out the Grand Prix there. We're now side by side with Räikkönen and Sainz. We let off a little bit to give him the room on the inside there. We're 3 abreast, nearly 4 wide even actually. But that was an absolute madness from Sergio Perez. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. We were going to go left. He was committing to the right. You can't just swerve across like that. I think he clearly watched the Vietnam special from Top Gear and thought it was gospel.
Always give way to the car from the right.
I know he probably doesn't think of our car as an actual F1 competitor to him. He's probably thinking, what on earth is an F2 car doing here in the race? I don't remember F1 race weekends being run like World Endurance now. You just can't be doing that. And then obviously I make a horrendous dive. That was more of an angry reaction to nearly being punted and yeeted off the track on the left-hand side. I can't lie, but needs must. And the important thing is the FIA said nothing about it. So you know what? You got to trust the FIA, even if they have screwed us over in the past. You got to trust them. You got to trust them when it's in our favour. We're now on lap 15 then, and we're in P4 then. Carlos Sainz P5. We're trying to defend as best we can. The straight line speed is paying dividends there on that previous lap. But on lap 16, Sainz with the massive dive down the inside, very late there, and catches me by surprise, and he's trying to force his way back up into P4. We're wheel to wheel once again. We get DRS open. We're going to waltz away, and this is a bit of karma, I feel, because look at that. Sergio Perez goes and overtakes him, and he's going to get swarmed by Raikkonen and Alexander Albon as we go through the hairpin. We're going to look behind me, and look at that. He's swamped by the two other cars. So that is what you want to see. That is what I want to see. Inject that into my veins, please. So with that, we move on to the last lap of the GP, lap number 17. We're still here in P4. Max Verstappen has won the German GP, but we're going to come through in a very lofty P4, and it'll be a great position considering we started in P16. If anything, this is better than the drive we had at Silverstone in many ways. Absolutely top job from us.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
And obviously, Jeff couldn't give a flying toss. I hate him.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Yeah, we did gain a lot of positions there. No thanks to a lack of an engine upgrade this weekend by our engine supply. Oh, wait, it's the engine supplier's home GP. Oh, right. So you want me to okay. Yeah, I love Mercedes. Yeah, I love Mercedes. They've done a great job, great work. It's great to be here at the Mercedes German Grand Prix, sponsored by Mercedes, powered by Mercedes, and overseen by Mercedes. It's a great time to be here, driven by a Mercedes-powered Williams Mercedes car.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
Maybe. It's hard to tell, you know, when your engineer has the emotional range of a wet wipe in a paper bag. But, yeah, maybe.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
No, it wasn't. Did you see the 14th or 15th lap? Whatever it was? Sergio Perez tried to absolutely deck me to the left-hand side. So, yes, it wasn't the cleanest race. And I am a bit of an idiot magnet, it would seem. And that idiot today is Sergio Perez.
Would you say that your rival is still on your level?
It's probably it's oh, you've been sick. Oh.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So in the end of it then, it's P4 for us. Carlos Sainz comes home in P6, and Lando Norris does not score points. So in stark contrast, we got a worse position than last episode, but we actually gained points this time on McLaren. So can't complain. Happy days. Once again, we are the saviours of this entire team. No thanks to Rob Kubica doing absolutely nothing in that Grand Prix once more there. But yeah, very decent one, I would say. P4, you know, the car seems to have some decent race pace, you know. It's actually getting there. The chassis improvements are showing through. I bag on the team a lot, I know I do, but the improvements are showing through. Every race, we look more and more comfortable racing on the cars. So we just, you know, they just need to continue to actually work in the factory, you know, a little bit. I'm not talking a lot, just a little bit of work. They need to think about the Christmas bonus, you know. If we can get P4 in the championship, they will get that premium Tesco beer that I promised, all right? If they don't, they're going to get piss water. So that's been this episode then for the F1 Road to Glory series, guys. If you did enjoy it, then be sure to smash that like button. Let me know your thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, subscribe for weekly full-on content. I've been aarava. Hope you stay. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.